Hi everyone, this is Dwight Icen-Hour, and welcome to the Dwight Icen-Hour, a show designed for the fans, by the fans. Let's hop right into today's episode.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Dwight Icen-Hour, episode 16. It has been an exciting week this week. I tell you, our Dwight Icen-Hour ETA page on Facebook this week has hit 8,000 followers. And I'm proud to say that in just this past week, since I announced that, we have gained almost another 500 followers. So we are approaching 8,500 followers on the Dwight Icen-Hour ETA page. So thank you guys so much. I want to say welcome to all of the new followers, and welcome back to all of you who have been watching the Icen-Hour and supporting the Dwight Icen-Hour ETA page from the beginning. Thank you all for your support. I want to thank everyone who's been clicking like, who's been leaving us comments, and who has been sharing the Dwight Icen-Hour show so all your friends can see it. I especially want to thank all of you who have so graciously and generously donated and contributed to the Dwight Icen-Hour. We thank you so very much. And for those of you who are at home watching right now and would like to contribute to the Dwight Icen-Hour and you're wondering how to do so, you can do so by visiting this little link right here. We have an absolutely fantastic episode lined up for you today. We have some great fan photos, some great songs from the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, and a new segment today called Tour Talk with Dwight. So let's hop right into it. Hey everybody, and welcome to Tour Talk with Dwight. I get asked all the time from fans, family, and friends about these tours that I do. I do tours of Japan, all over Europe, basically all over the world. My most successful tour that I participate in year-round is the Elvis the Concert Tour in Europe. And we do anywhere from 30 to 40 shows throughout a 2-month period, usually in April and May. Welcoming to the show for the first time is our good friend, author, tour producer, and tour manager of the Elvis Concert European Tour, Mr. Arjen Dielen.
Hi folks, welcome to the Dwight Icen-Hour. My name is Arjen Dielen and I'm the producer of the Elvis concert. And I've been working together with Dwight since 2014 and it's been quite a ride. Anyway, these are difficult times for many of us, strange times. So please stay safe. Now for this hour, I would like to ask Dwight a couple of questions. The first one being, Dwight, do you remember that first phone call, late 13, late night, or late night for me, late afternoon for you?
Hey Arjen, welcome to the show, man. Good to hear from you. This is going to be a lot of fun. Of course, I remember that first telephone call. But before the call, I remember getting the email that simply said, "How would you like to come sing with Elvis's original band members?" And I wrote back, I think, yes. One word, yes. But I do remember that call. I remember talking to you for the first time and just how excited I was. First of all, to come to Europe, and then you were telling me about some of the people who were going to be on the tour, and just the excitement of the tour, and the main thing I remember is just how excited that I was to possibly be doing this, and then as we know, it ended up happening. So that was the feeling, was excitement for me.
This concept that we discussed that night, focusing on the music, no impersonations, no jumpsuits. How do you look back on all of that today?
At first when you first brought that up to me about being myself, no jumpsuits, no impersonations, I was a little bit conflicted on how I was even going to do the show, because that's all I knew. That's all I knew was how to go up on stage and be Elvis, per se. So I remember calling up my good friend, my favorite ETA, Robert Washington, the guy that has taught me basically everything in this business from the time I first started. I called Robert up and I said, "Robert, I know that you've participated in this tour in the past. Like, how do you do your show? Because, you have impersonated Elvis all your life with the jumpsuits, and how do you go over to Europe and not be in that zone?" He said, I just do my show, man. I just go over there and, I do what I normally do, except don't wear a jumpsuit. That's it. So I was like, perfect. So, and it was a blessing to be able to come over there and do that for the first time, because that has opened up so much freedom for me to be able to just be myself. It did open up a huge opportunity for me to be Dwight Icenhower and to be a fan performing a tribute to Elvis Presley, which I love. If I could do all of my shows like that, I would do it like that. And now it has really caught on, and the people love the new style. They love the suits that I come out in now, and so it's just really a breath of fresh air for someone that's been performing Elvis 20 plus years. It's a breath of fresh air to be able to be Dwight Icenhower, the Elvis fan, performing for the fans. So thank you, Arjun.
In the show, we work with a lot of the original guys, like Doug Bardwell, Joe Monroe, Jim Murray, Bob Lanning. And what's that like for you?
Well, that certainly is one of the extreme highlights of doing this tour. I mean, I never dreamed in a million years, coming from a little town of Pomeroy, Ohio, that I would ever be in Europe playing with people who performed on million-selling records with the actual Elvis Presley. I never dreamed that in my life. I mean, to work with guys like Duke Bardwell, Jerome Stump Monroe, Eddie Graham, Bob Lanning, Jim Murray, all these guys who played and sang with Elvis, it's just a dream come true for me. I mean, the first tour, we had Duke Bardwell, Jerome Stump Monroe, and we had Dick Grobe, who we just lost recently. So I'll never forget when I found out we were going to be playing with original people who played with Elvis. I was a nervous wreck because, one, I didn't want them to think that I thought that I was Elvis. I was just trying to be as me as possible, just so straightforward with these guys, but sing the best that I could, but not to where they thought I was trying to overdo it or anything. And Duke Bardwell, I met him for the first time, man, and just a great spirit, and he just made you laugh, and he really broke the ice. Duke, right off the bat, was just so welcoming and just a pleasure to be around. And then I got to meet Jerome Stump Monroe, who is the drummer for the Sweet Inspirations, and they opened every show for Elvis Presley. Jerome Stump Monroe was on over 1,100 concerts with Elvis Presley and played with him several times on stage. And Jerome is just a phenomenal drummer to this day, and just such a loving, sweet-spirited guy. It was a pleasure to work with him. And Dick Grobe from the first tour. Dick was a very stern but lovable guy. I mean, when we would walk in these venues, Dick would walk in first and just scope out the place. And I just remember like seeing footage of him with Elvis, and he would do the same exact thing. So me and Carl would always talk. We were like, look at Dick, man. He's like really scoping out the place like he used to with Elvis. I mean, he would walk in there, man, and just like look around, see if there was any shady people, and it was perfect. And we miss Dick, man. He was the best. And we all became friends. I had known Dick for a long time, for probably 15 years before this tour, but it was great to reconnect with him and have that experience with him on the road. Then Bob Lanning came around, and Bob has become a great friend to all of us. Phenomenal drummer. Every time we play The Wonder of You, I get cold chills. It doesn't matter if it's the first night, the first show of our tour, or the last show of our tour. When Bob kicks that off, it just gives me cold chills, because it's the first thing you hear is Bob and Eddie Graham on the record. Eddie hitting those timpanis and Bob counting in the drums, man. Bob's a great friend. We talk pretty often on the phone. Bob, if you're watching, I miss you, man. Hope you're doing well. Eddie Graham, what can you say about that guy? I mean, he is just a musical happening. You just have to see Eddie to believe him. He's in his 80s. And he's the only Elvis celebrity in history to crowd surf. I guarantee you. I don't even have to look it up in the Elvis encyclopedia or look it up on the web. Eddie Graham is the only Elvis celebrity to crowd surf for 3 nights in a row. He walked to the edge of the stage, he fell backwards, and the crowd caught him, and they surfed him through the audience and brought him back to the stage. All the while he was playing his drumsticks. It was amazing. I want to say Jim Murray, man, from the Imperials. Jim Murray is probably the coolest guy I've ever met. I mean, just the most down-to-earth, lovable. He's like a dad to all of us on tour. Just a super, super guy, first of all, and an enormous vocal presence on stage. I mean, this guy just blows the roof off the place night after night after night. I love Jim Murray. We've also had the pleasure of doing several tours with the Sweet Inspirations. The original Sweet Inspiration, Estelle Brown, Miss Portia Griffin, who has been a Sweet Inspiration since the 90s, and Kelly Jones, who has been a Sweet Inspiration for many, many years, I believe since the mid to late 90s. Those three ladies together are just a powerhouse, and it's always a pleasure to share the stage with them. And Estelle Brown played over 1,100 concerts, sang with Elvis Presley over 1,100 concerts, and she still sings her heart out, and she's just a beautiful spirit, and I love working with those ladies.
I think one of the reasons why this show is successful is because of the young musicians that play on the show. You know, when you're talking about guys like Carl Bredichuk from Detroit and Damien Daigneault from France, I mean, these guys are second to none. They're amazing. And what was it like for you to be introduced to musicians like them and to work with them?
You know, talk about Elvis's legacy, bringing people together from all over the world. I mean, our band is a melting pot of different cultures, all different cultures. I mean, we have Damien Daigneault from France. We have Grégoire Obolier from France. We have the Velvet Candles from Spain, from Barcelona, Spain. We have Juan, Eddie, and Augie. The Velvet Candles, these guys are just the best of the best at what they do. And for the Elvis music, there's nobody out there like them that can recreate the sound of the Jordanaires on all those classic 50s and 60s recordings, and then turn right around and recreate the J.D. Sumner and the Stamps Quartet, the Imperial sound. I mean, these guys literally are the best of the best. They have a huge career of their own. They travel all around the world singing doo-wop music. From all over the world, from the United States, you know, from all over the United States, we all come together and we just make great music together. And we've all become like a family. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, I actually wish we all lived closer together so we could stay in contact with each other and visit. But you know, I always look forward to these tours because these musicians are second to none. They come out night after night. They play something different every single night. They'll find little things to do to make the music come alive. I mean, and we just bring it all together and put it out to the audience, and it's always a home run with these guys. You can't go wrong with this band.
Of course, we've also had a lot of special guests. You know, Marlon Mason, who started with Elvis, In a Trouble with Girls, Dave Hebler, and so many others. And also even, you know, rockabilly singer Robert Gordon, you know, Red Hot, The Way I Walk. And do you remember some of the late night singing together with Robert?
Yeah, just another big perk of this tour are the special guests. As you mentioned, Marlon Mason, she was Elvis's co-star in the Trouble with Girl movie. And she was just a blast. I remember from the first meeting, from the very first time I met her, I was just laughing and we were just having a ball. We've had Mindy Miller. It was great to get to know Mindy, and she told some great stories of her time with Elvis Presley. Mindy was a lot of fun. Dave Hebler was great. We've become pretty good friends on that tour, and we still talk to this day occasionally. If you remember, we were doing Trouble, or Trouble, if you're looking for trouble, that song. And during the guitar instrumental solo, Dave broke out into a karate routine, and he hit me 13 times within 2 seconds. So he is still just a phenomenal Kempo karate master. And Robert Gordon, yes, I cannot forget Robert Gordon. I tell you, Robert Gordon is a rockabilly legend. Bruce Springsteen wrote the song Fire for Elvis Presley in mind. Of course, Elvis did not get to record it, so Bruce Springsteen gave the song to Robert Gordon, and Robert Gordon was on one of our Christmas tours just a year ago, actually 2 years ago. And we had a great time with Robert. I do remember those late night bus rides home when we would have the Velvet Candles and Robert, because we all love old 50s and 60s doo-wop music. And I just remember singing, you know, Why Do Fools Fall in Love? We were singing Jackie Wilson. And at the Elvis show the next day, I think I sounded more like Rod Stewart than Elvis Presley because we were singing all night. But that was a blast with Robert and the band. We just had a great time, and I always look forward to seeing who the special guests are going to be.
We've done a lot of shows together. You know, I'm thinking at least 200, probably a lot more. And, you know, there's so many highlights to choose from. But what are some of the highlights for you?
Oh man, there are so many highlights throughout the past however many years. There's just so many great experiences that I've had. Every single time we play the Melkweg in Amsterdam is for sure a highlight for me. It's one of my favorite shows. It's usually about, I don't know, maybe 800 to 1,000 people, standing room only, just rushing the stage. There's no seats in the venue, and the energy in that room is just, you can feel it as soon as you walk in, before the crowd even gets there. Just the energy backstage between me and the band, the guys that worked with Elvis. I mean, we're all just excited to be in this venue, and it's become like our favorite show. So the Melkweg is certainly a highlight. We play a place several times called Tempra Talo in Tempra, Finland. And that place, when you walk in, is just like it looks like the inside of a huge spaceship. I mean, I can't explain it, but that room has a buzz to it that is amazing. It just takes your breath standing on stage looking out at this massive place. So every time we play there is certainly a highlight. There's so many beautiful theaters that we play, and just great rock and roll venues that we play. They're two totally different crowds. I mean, the theater crowds are more appreciative, and they're more wanting to really soak in the show and experience everything. The rock and roll crowds are exactly what it sounds like, rock and roll crowds. I mean, they're singing at the top of their lungs, and who's to say one's better than the other? I love all of the shows. But one thing I do want to mention that is a huge highlight for me are the European fans. These guys are just so dedicated to Elvis Presley, one, his music, and to our show. They just show so much support. You know, and like I said, I've been doing tours with you since 2014, and we see a lot of familiar faces sitting in the front row. So it's always nice to see these people coming back, enjoying the show, supporting us. And it's always nice when we play the rock clubs, especially like the Melkweg in Amsterdam, because, you know, we see young people showing up. I mean, college-age people, 19, 20, 21 years old, showing up and singing every word to even the obscure Elvis songs. So that's very promising. That means that Elvis's legacy will never die. As long as young people keep discovering Elvis Presley and showing up to the shows, that's what's going to make Elvis sustain for generations to come.
Right before this thing hit us, you know, the coronavirus, we did a great tour together. This was in December of 19, and we did a bunch of shows, and this was together with Bob Lanning, who, as you know, worked with Elvis, played drums for Elvis in 1970, and with the Sweet Inspirations, who did a lot of shows together with Elvis, I think 1,100, from 1969 to 1977, right to the end. And we also did a book presentation for my book, Inside Elvis. Let's see, I think I've got it right here. This is it. And I'm obviously very proud of it. But maybe you can tell your viewers a bit about that presentation, because it was a lot of fun.
I just happen to have my own copy right here, which you gave me. Thank you, man. Yeah, I do remember that book presentation. It was a lot of fun. We ended up having a nice crowd there. They came out, they got their copy of the book. I believe you signed it. I know Estelle from the Sweet Inspirations, and Bob, myself, we were all signing people's books. And we actually ended up doing a great questions and answer segment with Estelle and Bob Lanning and myself, and with you, and it was a lot of fun, man. I just remember that we broke into what was supposed to be a few songs, ended up being a complete hour-long jam session. It's a lot of fun. Me, Carl, I think I even jumped on the piano at one time and played a gospel song. The Sweet Inspirations sang with us during the jam, and we actually celebrated Portia's birthday that night. We had a beautiful cake and just had a great time. And it was one of my favorite parts of that particular tour in 2019.
Isn't it amazing that more than 40 years after Elvis died, we still remember him fondly all over the world, and we still pay tribute to him. And we all have our own stories of how we became a fan of the man. And mine started about 40 years ago. This was in 1979, and we were in the US. And I got this album. Come on, everybody. This is the actual album. I still have it. And I remember hearing it. And I was just amazed by this guy's voice. I mean, he sang like an angel. And it was like nothing I'd ever heard up to that point. And it made me want to know everything about him. Who he was, how he lived, how he died. Everything. And that fascination still continues after all these years. And that's why we're paying tribute to him, together with Dwight and all those amazing musicians. And I would like to ask Dwight to sing one of the songs from that album. And it's still one of my favorites. It's a song from Follow the Dream, the movie Follow the Dream, and it's called Angel.
Hit it!
Angel, with those angel eyes, come and take this earth boy up to paradise. Angel, may I hold you tight? Never kissed an angel. Let me kiss one tonight. If I said I loved you, would I be speaking out of turn? I'm only human, but I'm willing to learn. Angel, make my wish come true. Let me be in heaven, here on earth with you. Angel, never kissed an angel. Let me kiss one tonight. If I said I loved you, would I be speaking out of turn? I'm only human, but I'm willing to learn. Angel, make my wish come true. Let me be in heaven, here on earth with you. Angel,
As I alluded to earlier, these are strange, difficult, and confusing times for many of us. And I think we're all seeking, comfort in our own way to get through this, and also for us to get back to live concerts. Do you have a message for your European fans?
Well, I would say to my fans in general, a message to all of them, from myself to the ones here in the States, to the ones in Europe, all over the world, I would say to please do what the authorities are saying to do. Please stay safe and healthy, and let's get back to normal. Let's get back as soon as we can so we can come back entertaining you, doing our tribute to Elvis shows, and just having a good time, because I miss it and I miss all of you. And now it's that time for our weekly walk down memory lane. In this first photo, here I am with Beverly Smedberg. We are at the Venice Theater in Venice, Florida. This theater is one of my very favorite places to play here in Florida. We always have a great time, and I'm really looking forward to the next time we can come back and do our shows there. Thank you, Beverly. Here I am with our good friend Jane Sibley. We are on the 2020 Tribute Cruise. We had a great time on the 2020 Tribute Cruise. This picture was taken at the meet and greet. So I'm glad you captured this photo, Jane. I'm glad you sent it in for us. And we hope to see you soon. Stay well, stay safe. Here I am with my buddy Braxton Sykes. Braxton is a young up-and-coming ETA who does a fantastic job, and he's going to have a bright future in this business. Here we are in Memphis, Tennessee, back in 2019. Thank you, Braxton. Here I am with great supporter and friend Dory Hunt, and we are at the Las Vegas Tribute Festival produced by Jason Sherry and his staff. This is a great event. It got canceled this year due to COVID, but I'm really looking forward to returning in July of next year to perform my full Elton John tribute show. Dory, thank you so much for submitting this photo, and we hope to see you soon. Stay well. This next photo was submitted by Garrett Houderman. This was on the European tour, and we're somewhere in Holland. I don't really know exactly what venue we're at, but it doesn't matter because anytime we're in Holland, we're having a ball. Thank you so much, Garrett, for your submission. Hey everyone, welcome to Dwight by Request.
Girls, 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 go swimming in bikinis, walking in a wiggle by. Hey, I'm boating, just a floating, so pretty Lord I could cry. I'm just a red blooded boy and I can't stop thinking about girls sailing sailboats, water skiing, they'll drive me out of my mind. Hey, big and brassy, small and sassy, just give me one of each kind. Hey, I'm just a red-blooded boy and I can't stop thinking about girls, 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 girls. And when I pick up a sandwich too much, a crunchity crunch, I never ever get to finish my lunch, because there's always bound to be a bunch of girls in tight sweaters, in short dresses, walking in a wiggling by. Hey, on the beaches, oh on peaches, so many Lord I could cry. I'm just a red-blooded boy and I can't stop thinking about girls, 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 girls. Oh, play it, Michael. Turn it up. All right. Oh, do it again, man. All right. I'm just a red-blooded boy and I can't stop thinking about girls, 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 girls.
Here's an early song from the 1950s.
You're right, I'm left, she's gone. You're right, and I'm left all alone. Well, you tried to tell me so, but how was I to know that she was not the one for me? You told me all along. You're right, our love was so wrong. But now I changed my mind, 'cause try to find, and I know she'd never care for me. Well, I thought I knew just what she'd do. I guess I'm not so smart. Well, you tried to tell me all along you'd only break my heart. You're right, and I'm glad she's gone. You're right, and I'm left all alone. Well, she's gone, I know not where, but now I just don't care. 'Cause now I'm falling for you. I'll play it hard. I guess I'm not so smart. Well, you tried to tell me all along she'd only break my heart. Oh, you're right, I'm glad she's gone. Oh, you're right, I'm left all alone. Well, she's gone, I know not when, but now I just don't care. 'Cause now I've fallen for you.
Here's a song from the 1960s that I've never sang in my life. I'd like to dedicate this song to Leona. It was called Ask Me.
Ask me if I wanted to caress you, and I'll confess. Ask me if I'm longing to possess you. Forever, and I swear that I will never let you go. There's no question that I care more than you know. Love me, darling, just be my complete need. And there's nothing I won't do if you just ask me. And I swear that I will never let you go. There's no question that I care more than you know. Love me, darling, just be my complete need. And there's nothing I won't do if you just ask me. Just ask me.
This next song was a special request all the way from Finland from our good friend Timu.
And I love you so. People ask me how I've lived till now. I tell them I must be. My life began again the day you took my hand. And yes, I know how lonely life can be. The shadows follow me, and the light won't set me free. But I won't let the evening get me down. Now that you're around me, and you love me too. Your thoughts are just for me. You set my spirit free. I'm happy that you do. The book of life is brief. Once the page is read, all but love is dead. This is my belief. Oh, and yes, I know how lonely life can be. The shadows follow me, and the light won't set me free. But I won't let the evening get me down. Now that you're around me.
This next song comes from the 1970 album, Elvis, That's the Way It Is. Went like this.
We got to patch it up, baby, before we fall apart in the seams. We got to patch it up, baby, we can't let time unravel our dreams. Let's go back and touch our past. One more night is all I ask. Did they feel it? That old feeling? Feel it here? Oh! Oh, we can patch it up, baby. We got to patch it up, baby. We got to patch it up, baby. Patch it up. Oh, Lord. Patch it up, baby, the sweet and love comforts of our heart. We got to patch it up, baby, before indifference pulls us apart. Don't let good love die. Let's give it just one more try with that feeling, that old feeling. Feel it here. Oh! We can patch it up, baby. Oh, we can patch it up, baby. We got to patch it up, baby. Patch it up. Oh, Lord. Oh, we can patch it up, baby. We got to patch it up, baby. Oh, we can patch it up, baby. Patch it up. Oh, Lord. Oh, we can patch it up, baby. Oh, we can patch it up, baby. We got to patch it up, baby. Patch it up. Oh, Lord.
Ho, ho. This next song was a big hit record for Elvis Presley in the mid-1950s and went like this.
One night with you is what I'm now praying for. The things that we took to plan would make my dreams come true. Just call my name and I'll be right by your side. I want your sweet helping hand. My love's too strong to hide. Always live very quiet life. I never did no wrong. Now I know that life without you has been too lonely, too long. One night with you, yeah, he's what I'm now praying for. The things that we took to plan would make my dreams come true. Always live very quiet life. I never did no wrong. Now I know that life without you has caused me nothing but harm. One night with you, yeah, is what I'm now praying for. The things that we took to plan would make my dreams come true.
This next song was requested by our good friend Chris Dops, and he asked us to do this song, and I'm glad he did, because this song reminds me of Memphis and Graceland, because Elvis Presley recorded this song in the Jungle Room of Graceland. And we would normally be in Memphis right now for Elvis Week, but we're there in spirit, and I want to do this song for all the Elvis fans out there.
I hope I never ever loved anyone this much again. I can't take it anymore. I've been hurt before, but never ever quite like this time. What will become of me when you're no longer here? If I can't stop loving you, what am I to do? You'll be free, but where will I be? Now that I'm used to love, how can I stand alone? Now that love has come and gone, like the ending of a song, my lonely heart keeps singing. Where do I go from here? Will I get over you? If so, let
In 1954, a young man walked into Sun Records in Memphis, Tennessee, and he laid down a song that would become the beginning of rock and roll. The world had never heard of Elvis Presley, but after this song was released, they knew who he was then. A little song called That's All Right Mama went like this.
Well, that's all right, mama. That's all right for you. That's all right, mama. Just any way you do. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right, mama. Any way you do. Well, mama, she done told me. Papa done told me too. Son, act out, you fooling with she ain't all good for you. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right, mama. Anyway you do. I'll play it, man. All right.
Yeah.
I'm a leaving town, baby. I'm a leaving town, sure. Well, if you wanna be bothered with me, hang around your door, and that's all right. That's all right. That's all right, mama. Anyway you do. I got a dee 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 dee. I need your loving. That's all right. That's all right, mama. Anyway you do.
Here's one of my very, very favorite songs Elvis ever recorded from the 1970s. A little song called I'm Leaving.
La 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 just can't make it. Feeling fast vibrations and I just can't take it. Living from day to day, chasing a dream. Try so hard each time I just can't make it. Feeling fast vibrations and I just can't take it. Living from day to day, chasing a dream.
you guys have enjoyed Dwight by request today. This last song I'd like to sing for you is probably Elvis's one of his very biggest hit records. From 1969, a little song called Suspicious Minds.
Suspicious minds. So if an old friend I know cross by and say hello, what I still see suspicion in your eyes. Here we go again, asking where I've been. Suspicious minds, and we can build our dreams on suspicious minds. Oh, that I survive, oh Lord, I'd rather tears from your eyes. Stole that good thing died, oh Lord, just honey. You know I'll never lie to you. Yeah, yeah. We're caught in the trap. I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. Why can't you see?
That's going to do it, folks, for the Dwight Icen-Hour, episode 16. Woo! We really hope you enjoyed this week's episode. We had a lot of fun making it. Jerry and I wanted to take this last final moment to say thank you to everyone who has been leaving us some really nice comments on Facebook and on YouTube. It means a lot to us. Before we go, we want to remind you guys to please click like, to please leave a comment, and to please share. That's gonna do it, folks, for episode 16, and we'll see you next time in episode 17. Whoa.
The Dwight Icen-Hour is made possible by viewers like you. Contributions are greatly appreciated and can be made at paypal.me/Eisenhower DV.